So, you've been bulking, finally thinking that you will actually get big. But 2 months down the line, you can't even see your abs anymore. When I first started bulking, I did gain muscle, but with that, I also gained a lot of fat. My strength was up, but I couldn't see my abs anymore. And every time I looked in the mirror, I could see my size, but I felt demotivated because I could no longer see my abs. That's when I realized that bulking isn't simply eating more, it's actually eating smart. So in this video, I'll be showing you the right way to bulk without getting fat. I'll show you how to control your calorie surplus, how to track your macros every single day, and how to eat clean and still get enough calories to grow. Let's get real for a second. The real reason why most people get fat on their bulk is because they use it as an excuse to eat absolutely anything. They start eating pizza, milkshakes, burgers, all in the name of getting gains. And yes, you will gain weight at the end of the day, but that won't be the kind of weight that you actually want. The problem is your body can only build so much muscle at one time. If you give it way too much food than it needs, that extra calories won't magically become muscle. It will turn into fat. That's why most people say clean bulk, but they end up looking soft and fat because they treat the bulk like it's a cheat day every single day. So let's fix that. The first step to doing that is controlling your calorie surplus. Here's the first rule on a lean bulk. You don't need to eat that much more. You just need a small calorie surplus, just enough for your body to have enough energy to build muscle, but not so much that it uses that extra calories to turn into fat. A good range to start with is 250 to about 500 calories more than your maintenance. So if your body burns 2500 calories each day, in between 2750 and 3000 calories every single day. Not 3500 or 4000 calories, because that extra calories, like I said, will turn into fat and not muscle. And step 2 is tracking your macros. This is where most guys get lazy. They'll track it for a few days, then they get lazy, and then they start guessing the other meals that they have to track. And that's actually when the fat starts to creep in. And the thing is, you don't need to track forever. You just need to learn your numbers. For muscle growth, a solid start for protein is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're 150 pounds, eat 150 grams of protein every single day. Protein is your foundation. That's what makes your body actually build the muscle. Now, I know tracking can feel boring or useless, but this is how I do it so that I can stay on point every single day. If I eat the same meals that I did yesterday, obviously I don't track it because I already have some proof or I already know the numbers of that meal. But if it's a new meal, I just simply go onto ChatGPT, I insert the meal that I'm eating, and then it gives me the numbers. That's all. So then I know for the future what is in that food. This helps you to stay consistent while also not wasting time tracking every single meal throughout the day. And then step 3 is eat clean but high calorie foods. This is where most bulks fall apart. People think that eating clean means eating low calorie foods. But you can eat clean and big if you know how. For me, one of my go-to meals is a protein pancakes. I blend together 60 grams of oats, 4 large eggs, 2 bananas, 2 scoops of whey protein, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I blend it all together and put it on the pan to make pancakes. And then I serve it with 50 grams of frozen berries or mixed berries with honey on top of it. That adds up to about 1000 calories, 70 grams of protein, 100 grams of carbs, and only 26 grams of fat. Clean, simple, high protein, and easy for your body to digest. You don't need fancy meals. You just need meals that fit your goals. The goal is to make it easier, not to force yourself to stuff junk food in your mouth. Because if your meals are dirty, your digestion slows down, you have less energy, you feel more sluggish throughout the day, and that's of course not what we want when we are on a lean bulk. Clean foods help you to stay energized, stay strong during your workouts, and actually make gains towards your goal. But you can have the most perfect meal plan in the world, but if you don't exercise, if you don't train the right way, all of that will go to waste. When you're bulking, your workouts matter more than ever because you need to give your body a reason to use the food that you've been eating. Focus on progressive overload, increasing your sets, your reps, the weight. That will all help you grow. And also make sure that you track your progress over time so that you can clearly see what you did in the past so that you know what to do in the future. And if you're eating right, training right, trust me, when you look at yourself in the mirror after a few months, you will notice a big change in your physique. And here are some things that I wish I knew earlier, and it's some mistakes that you might be making that you don't even know. Number one is drinking too much liquid calories. Yes, smoothies do help, and I do that as well because it's an easy way to get calories in, get protein in, and it's quick. But half of that is sugar, so don't do it too much because it will affect your digestion and your energy levels. And number two is parking up too fast, eating too much calories. That is not good for your body, and because it will actually turn those extra calories into fat, like I've been mentioning this entire video. And another mistake that you don't know that you might actually be making is not taking progress pictures. When you take progress pictures, you can clearly see that you are making progress. That helps you to stay consistent on your bulk and in the gym. Because one day, you'll actually compare where you were and where you are now. And you'll realize, wow, that's a massive difference. And the hardest thing about lean bulking compared to dirty bulking or what other people are doing is it's slow. It's bored. You feel like you're not making progress. But that's good. Real progress, real muscle takes time to build. You don't want to gain 10 kg in 2 months and then spend the next 6 months cutting all of that fat. That's a waste of time. You don't need to do that. You want to gain muscle slowly so that you can stay lean and actually keep the muscle that you have built. The goal is quality mass, not just weight, because that weight can be disguised as fat. Stop rushing through the process. Focus on eating right, training right, showing up consistently every single week, and your body will thank you. Bulking without gaining fat isn't about perfection. It's about control. Keep your surplus small, 250 to 500. Track your workouts, track your meals, and stay consistent. That's how you build muscle that stays the same. You will become the person you want to be by pushing through the times you want to quit.